what I'd give to be invisible.
Marvel's Fantastic Four, aka the First Family, are finally joining the MCU in 2025. This is after a few tries at Fantastic Four movies that weren't quite as fantastic. This new film will be directed by Matt Shakman, who did some awesome episodes of WandaVision. We'll have to wait a bit to see them in theaters, but there's a lot of buzz about with this new take on the Fantastic Four. Before the new Fantastic Four lands in theaters in 2025, here's everything we know about the film. Plus, stick around because we'll also chat about one thing the 2005 Fantastic Four got right, and how the MCU could learn from it. Now, forget the chocolates and flowers. Marvel gave us the best Valentine's Day gift ever, the new Fantastic Four cast. We're finally getting a fresh take on these iconic heroes, and the lineup is stellar. Leading the charge is Pedro Pascal from Mandalorian and The Last of Us as the stretchy Mr. Fantastic. He'll be joined by Vanessa Kirby from The Crown as the invisible Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things as the fiery Human Torch, and Eben Moss-Bachrach from The Bear as the rock-solid Thing. Marvel even released a cool picture of them in their classic blue costumes, straight out of the 1960s comics. Joseph Quinn, the newest member of the team, is super pumped to be working with this crew. He said in an interview that they all want to make this movie fantastic, pun intended. He seems to think they'll be a great family on and off screen, especially under the direction of Matt Shakman. To add to the excitement, Marvel also announced that some other big names are joining the cast, though they haven't revealed who they'll be playing yet. John Malkovich, Paul Walter Hauser, and Natasha Lyonne are all on board, and fans are buzzing that one of them might be voicing Herbie, the Fantastic Four's awesome robot buddy. This is going to be epic. As for directing the new Fantastic Four, at first, Jon Watts was supposed to direct it, especially after handling all three of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. But he stepped away from the project in April 2022. Now, Marvel has brought in Matt Shakman, who directed WandaVision. Shakman also directed the 2014 thriller Cut Bank, but is mostly known for his work on TV shows like Succession, The Boys, Game of Thrones, Fargo, Mad Men, New Girl, House, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Marvel has kept most plot details under wraps, but has revealed that Ralph Ineson from Game of Thrones will play Galactus, the iconic planet-eating villain from the comics. Galactus, known for his huge size and purple helmet, is one of the Fantastic Four's biggest enemies and had a brief appearance in 2007's Rise of the Silver Surfer. Ineson confirmed his role on social media saying, "World-devouring cosmic villain is it? I'll see what I can do." Galactus usually has his herald, the Silver Surfer, with him. In this new film, Julia Garner from Ozark will play the Silver Surfer. Instead of Norrin Radd, the original surfer, Garner will portray Shalabal, a female version from the comics. Now let's talk about how this will connect to the rest of the MCU. Disney has been wanting to bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU for ages. When the Fox deal was announced back in 2017, a press release highlighted how it would reunite the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool with the Marvel family under one roof, and create richer, more complex worlds of interrelated characters and stories. Since then, we've seen a version of Reed Richards in the MCU. John Krasinski played an alternate universe Reed in 2022's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which was a fun nod to fans who wanted him for the role. But Krasinski's cameo was just a one-time thing. When the new Fantastic Four movie comes out in 2025, it'll be the team's official introduction to the MCU. It's still unclear how the new Fantastic Four will tie into other Marvel projects, or if we'll see Reed, Sue, Ben, or Johnny team up with existing Marvel heroes like the Avengers. There are even rumors that the movie will be set in the 1960s. What we do know is that Marvel has big plans for the Fantastic Four. In 2023, Kevin Feige told Entertainment Weekly that he wants the team to be a big pillar of the MCU going forward, just the way they've been in the comics for 50 or 60 years. Now finally, let's talk about one thing the 2005 Fantastic Four got right and how the MCU could learn from it. Over the years, tons of Marvel characters have made it to the big or small screen, from early hits like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man to the massive Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even the most obscure characters are getting their moment. But there's one team that's been tough to get right, the Fantastic Four. Despite their daily world-saving, Their movie history is a different story. The 2005 Fantastic Four movie wasn't all bad, though. The MCU could definitely take some cues from Michael Chiklis's take on The Thing for their upcoming adaptations. In 2005's Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm's transformation begins when Reed Richards, played by Ian Grufford, heads to space to study cosmic rays. Things go south when the rays hit their space station, giving them all incredible powers. For Ben, this means turning into a rocky orange giant with super strength. Unlike Reed, Sue, and Johnny, who can control their new abilities, Ben is stuck in his rocky form. This leads to a lot of heartbreak for him. The world reacts with fear and rejection. When he tries to reunite with his fiancée Debbie, she runs away in terror. After saving a fire truck from going off the Brooklyn Bridge, the police pull their guns on him. One of the most emotional moments in the film is when Ben tells Sue how much he wishes he had her power of invisibility, saying, "You have no idea what I'd give to be invisible," with deep pain in his voice. Michael Chiklis nails the role of Ben Grimm in Fantastic Four, perfectly capturing the character's tragic essence. Grimm's story highlights why Marvel heroes have resonated for over 80 years. Underneath the powers and costumes, their lives often have a tragic side. The X-Men are hated, despite being the next step in human evolution. Spider-Man is driven by guilt over his Uncle Ben's death. Captain America is a man out of time, and Iron Man's battles with alcoholism are well known. But Ben Grimm's situation is especially heartbreaking. Unlike the Hulk, who can revert to his human form, Grimm is permanently stuck as the Thing. Chiklis conveys this sadness in every scene. Plus, thanks to some top-notch practical effects, he looks just like the comic book character with his rocky skin. Over time, Grimm begins to accept his new life, largely due to artist Alicia Masters. She's one of the few who isn't scared of him and develops a deep connection with Grimm. Alicia, who is blind, cares more about who Ben is as a person rather than his appearance. Their relationship doesn't feel forced and adds genuine depth to the story. Grimm's acceptance of his powers becomes clear in the film's climax. When Doom attacks the Fantastic Four, Grimm, having temporarily lost his powers, willingly uses a machine to turn back into the Thing to save his friends. Even though Chiklis didn't have as big a role in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, he remained the emotional and literal cornerstone of the team, much like in the comics. He often provided Reed with crucial advice. While the MCU version will have its own take, Moss Bacharach should look into Chiklis's performance for inspiration. He should aim to build unique dynamics with his fellow cast members while still being the team's foundation, both emotionally and physically. Moss Bacharach's role as Cousin Richie in The Bear shows he has what it takes to make this happen.